So, it is time that we start off with the Realty Plus Excellence Awards East 2023. I am your host Anurima and I will be with you throughout the award function throughout the evening. This event is being live streamed on the Realty Plus website, which is www.rprealtyplus.com, Realty Plus LinkedIn page and Realty Plus Facebook page @RP Realty Plus. Also, when you upload your pictures, videos, do remember to tag us on our social media handles as RP Realty Plus on Facebook and Twitter, and on Instagram it would be RP_Realty. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we start off with a brief introduction of Realty Plus. Let's have a look at the audiovisual.
Some people are born to show the world which path to choose in a crisis. Some brands are born to do the same. And during the times of challenge, the stalwarts of Indian real estate industry have chosen to do just that by showing others the way to finding opportunities even amidst a crisis. By showing the world how to go about delivering on promises even amidst adversity. Success doesn't just happen, it happens by design, by pushing the boundaries, by raising the bar. It's days of creating a vision and nights of bringing it to life. Knowing that pictures are worth 1,000 words and every word makes a difference. It's doing the research, trusting your instinct and finishing what you started.
For the past 19 years, Realty Plus has been turning obstacles into opportunities.
Keeping the industry informed on the latest developments. Innovating to inspire debate and discussion. Bringing forth the perspectives of industry leaders. Honoring hard work and achievement. Keeping the industry connected. This is what we are built on. This is what we are building. We are Realty Plus and we lead the way.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a brief snippet of what Realty Plus does, what our forthcoming initiatives are, and to know more, to know us better, please get in touch with Ms. Tripti Kedia, publisher and business head, Realty Plus. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular evening, this day would not have been possible without the active support of our partners. So I'll take this opportunity to thank them all. Please put your hands together and keep roaring the auditorium with your claps as I name them. Put your hands together for our co-partner, Salarpuria Group, marketing partner, Karyam, title partner, Tile Square, business media partner, BW Businessworld Group, online media partner, Exchange for Media Group, and organized by Realty Plus. Thanks to everyone, and especially my audience, because this would not have been successful without your presence. Now moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I would request the welcome address to be presented by Dr. Anurag Batra, Editor-in-Chief and Chairman, Exchange for Media and BW Businessworld Media Group. Let's have a look at his journey. Known as India's media mogul, Dr. Batra is a first-generation...
It's okay. Thank you. Give her a big round of applause. She's doing a fab job. She's going to host the event. Please give her a big round of applause. अभी clapping पे GST लगा नहीं है और chances भी कम है.
Thank you, sir. I think some men don't need introduction. They are so much of energy themselves. Give him a huger round of applause, everybody. Thank you.
First of all, my gratitude to all of you and really the stalwarts of the business world in Calcutta are here. The creators of icons and iconic buildings and landmarks and communities are here. So really, I don't want to stand between you and all the winners. I just want to say that Tripti and Sapna do this in every city. They invite me for in every city. I'm not able to come to every city, but when Tripti called me and said, would you be able to come to Calcutta? I said, I'd be happily wanting to come. You could have charged me to bring me to Calcutta. I've come after 4 years. It's a city I love. It has a certain character, and I think Mr. Harsh Neotia was able to sum that up well. And I was reading an interview, I prepare. It may not seem like So I read, maybe you were having dinner with your son, Parthiv, at Indian Accent, and it's an interview where you talk about how when you were growing and you went to La Martiniere, everyone was from service backgrounds or middle class backgrounds, and you enjoyed sitting on the floor and eating a meal, and come to a time where experience at Indian Accent has become, it is an experience. I take all my expat guests there and they love it. And also it's more palatable on their stomach. It's a little toned down spices. But Calcutta, I was telling sir that I started coming to Calcutta 26 years back. I used to work for a company. And then I remember I used to meet Mr. Rajiv Kaul, and he would tell me Eastern Bypass will develop. So I used to, of course, he's a very wise man. And I would believe him. But over the last 15 years, I've seen how Calcutta's landscape has changed. We started Realty Plus almost 19 years back. I started my career in real estate and then came in media. Poonam, I came into media much later then. And when I got a little settled in media, I started Realty Plus. I can only say when I come to Calcutta, and I was listening to Mr. Junjunwala in the conversation just before the break, and he was talking about how Calcutta has changed because we're developing better infrastructure, which is better roads, more car parkings, because the aspiration of people has gone up. And I remember I was 4 weeks back, I got a call that Mr. KP Singh wants to meet me. And I said, why not? Why would I miss an opportunity to meet 93-year-old Mr. KP Singh? And I met him. Mr. Neotia, Mr. KP Singh will be 94 soon, in a couple of months. And he sat down, he's a tall man like you, always looking down on people. I mean, not metaphorically, in this case, literally. And he sat down and he talked to me for 90 minutes, and it was a master class for me. And he was telling me how he started his father-in-law's company again in 1988. And so I asked him at the end of the interview, Mr. Singh, are you still hungry? He said, I was hungry, so I started. And then he went on for another 20 minutes, and he's still hungry. And again, I'm not talking literally, I'm talking metaphorically, I'm confusing you. But the fact is, he talked to me about unglamorous things like plumbing. He talked to me about trust. He talked to me about roads. He talked to me about car parking. He talked to me about master plan. And he talked to me why a conversation of the quality of living, including the air, why green forests are important, why they built whatever they built in around the DLF Golf Club in Gurgaon, and why does it the same flat sell for $5-6 million up till $10 million, where half a kilometer away the same flats are selling at 40% lesser, similar, not same, and how greenery and quality of air is important. I think the beauty about Calcutta, and Mr. Neotia was bang on when he said Calcutta, you said it in your own way, but has a history, it has character, it has warmth. I see how he addressed you, sir. Bhaiya, aap kaise hai? There is a certain warmth in that, right? So I think Calcutta is a city I love. Of course, everything is getting upgraded. I hope the relationships get upgraded too. They become deeper, warmer, more genuine. And I have seen three things happen post-COVID for the real estate sector. I will stick to that. One is the fact that the aspiration to stay in a better quality home has really manifested. It's a real phenomenon. Second, people saved a lot. And because they saved a lot, they could put it into real estate, which is tangible. We've seen the stock market going up and down. So real estate also has, in the last 18 months, itself has appreciated. So they saw it appreciating, so they don't want to miss the... And one thing I learned very early from my wife, when we were buying our first flat 22 years back, I shifted to Delhi. And we were buying a 60 lakh rupee flat. We didn't even have 60 lakh rupees then. But somehow we stitched it together and we bought it. And since then, we bought some real estate assets. You never have enough money in real estate. You got to stretch yourself. But real estate is an asset that you should invest in. But more importantly, you should invest in relationships. And relationships you invest in by being genuine, by being selfless, by giving quality time, by being present in the moment, by applauding other people's success. Because I am a Hindu, I believe in things are predestined. मेरे साथ जो होना है वो तो होना ही है. It's all, there is a prarabdha. So why should I get jealous, worried, envious? I think I can't say I'm 100% away from these things, but I've minimized them to a lot. And I keep saying that after COVID, I really believe in this and I try and practice. I've called the people with whom I've sent legal notices to and said, let's meet for dinner. And I have no motive. I don't want anything from them. I just want a good relationship so that when we are able to meet, we meet well. I have no angst. They should have no angst. So I say that we shouldn't complain. The 3 C's we should away from. We shouldn't complain. We are blessed. I feel I'm blessed. Whatever I started with and where I am really blessed. I still have my parents' blessings. My children are doing well. I think that's the biggest gift. So don't complain. Second is don't criticize. We are in the media. So a little bit constructive criticism is okay, but as individuals criticizing others, you don't even know people's complete story. You don't know what they've done to be able to come where they are. So appreciate what they've achieved, who they are, whatever they are. It doesn't matter they're rich, middle class, whatever. Third is compare. We compare ourselves. Each one's journey is unique. My journey is very unique from where I started. I mean, Poonam is from the media industry. Her boss was my super friend. And I recommended her boss 10, 12 years back for the job that he was doing because his boss was again, a close friend of mine. And she knows that I built this company from scratch and purely on relationships. I don't let go of relationships. But each one's journey is, we shouldn't compare. My journey is my journey. So stay away from criticism, complaining and comparing. And Mr. Neotia, and I today met Rahul Todi after a long time. I met him maybe 12, 15 years back for the first time. Anuj, I actually met you 25 years back. Now I remember. Yeah, Anuj had told me to meet you guys. Right? So, yeah, and I met you more than 20 years back. And I keep saying 3 H's, which all of you, sir, you're here and you're such a stalwart both in what you achieved. And I saw Mr. Jhunjhunwala was also very reverent and respectful of you. So clearly there is something about you that people respect. And I'm going to find out what. But I keep saying the 3 H's that matter are, one is help people and help without expecting. It's very tough, but it's not impossible. It's like दान. दान देते हुए ये थोड़ा होता है कि कुछ वापस चाहिए. You're giving whatever. It can be giving to people you know, people you don't know. Second is, I hope, I always believe tomorrow will be better than I ate only 16 Golgappas at Russell Street. Tomorrow will be 24. So it will be better. I am hopeful. And third is humor. Humor in life. We take ourselves too seriously. We should take our work seriously, I'm not saying. But humor is a very important part of life. You can't take, if you can't crack a joke on yourself, then you're like, you should be able to crack a joke on yourself, your friends. And you should be able to be a little light, because life is very, very serious if you make it serious. You focus on anything you carry, as they say, you carry something and you hold it for a long time, it becomes very, very heavy. So don't make life heavy. We are very blessed. We've survived COVID. Most of you are, all of you are thriving. So really you're blessed. So celebrate that. Every day is, I really live my life like a celebration. I do the things that I like. Luckily, I'm at a stage where I can afford to choose what I do, what I don't do, where I spend my time. But I love what I do. So I do more and more of that. So I'm grateful to you. In real estate, I think, in the last 5 years because of RERA, in the last 3 years because of COVID, literally a future that is bright has been created because serious players have stayed in. Also, real estate has become a much more regulated business. The expectations of consumers from real estate developers are much more. And Tripti, I have to tell this story. So Tripti had a boss, he was the associate publisher some 10 years back. For the last 9 years, he is the publisher. So it has to be 10 years and plus. So her boss, Atul Sharma, and she were in Pune. And they were both calling me, and I keep my phone away. And finally, I took the call at 4 p.m. They would call me at 2, 1, I don't know. And they were both laughing, sir, we were very happy today. They said, we are very happy. They were in Pune. I don't know the name of the person, but Tripti can tell you. So I said, what happened? They said, we met a developer. जिसको किसी ने चीट किया है तो मैंने कहा ऐसा so we all had fun. Again, I don't believe in stereotyping. I think like people stereotype people in media and I tell them that हमारा भी खून लाली है वैसे ही है जैसे आप सबका है. So ऐसे भी developers haven't come. So I remember this is a true story. Tripti, that time Sapna wasn't working with us. Sapna's worked last 8 years, right? So Atul and Tripti were together and they called. Since then the landscape has changed a lot. I think, as Mr. Jhunjhunwala was saying, more serious players have stayed on. The quality of delivery, the timelines on delivery, the compliances, the expectations of customers, customer service, right pricing, marketing has become very, very important. And more users are buying homes, at least in residential. So really it's an exciting time. In COVID, people wrote away offices. They said the office space is over. Office spaces have become even more interesting. We are about human beings. Like we could have done this on Zoom, not call Mr. Neotia here, but he's here. Not call Mr. Todi here, but he's here. So point I'm trying to make is that real estate is reviving, it's rejuvenating, it's thriving. It's the only real sector. And everyone who is in real estate has a certain DNA. Real estate sabke bas ki baat nahi hai. There is a DNA. I mean, like media ka ek DNA. It doesn't matter whether you run a 100 crore company or a 1,000 crore company or a 5,000. There's a certain DNA, right? So every business has a certain DNA. You can only do it real estate if you are really a visionary, because you have to acquire land early. You have to be very giving when you work with authorities, literally. But in general sense, you have to be very giving because you're planning 10, 20 years. I don't know when Mr. Neotia acquired his land and so on, but must have been when, wherever he acquired land, people would have told him he's paid much more. Also, finally, real estate is embracing technology. customer service. So it's a business that will attract much better people as professionals because the people you're selling to demand a certain kind of service. But at the end of the day, it boils down to the quality of what you've built, the quality of environment you've built. And there are enough people to pay premiums. You take a city like Pune, you take a city like Hyderabad, you take Gurgaon. In Gurgaon, there is no slowdown in luxury housing. Who says? There's no slowdown. Every day, huge number of luxury homes are being sold, whether it's plots or whether it's apartments in DLF or other branded residences. So really, it is the most exciting time in real estate. And again, Durgapur is coming up. Similarly, there is a greater Noida. I mean, the Jewar airport is coming up. Imagine what will happen to Noida in 10 years, right? And finally, a lot of real estate developers have realized that real estate is very local in the way the needs are of the consumers. So finally, you're seeing that real estate developers who had 15 years back ventured, somebody from Delhi, okay, I'll take a name, DLF had gone to Bombay. They realized they're better off doing only Delhi, Gurgaon. They understand Delhi, Gurgaon. They're able to, also getting clearances are very important. So cultural nuances. But real estate is the only real sector. It is being driven by real demand. You have to create icons that are really, really game changers. I don't want to use the word game changer in you built a retail asset very early, which really made you popular, right? I mean, you did a lot of things. So you have to be very, very futuristic. Also, the scale is changing. And let me give you an example of Kuala Lumpur or Jakarta. They are not building for 5-10 years. They're building for 30. Look at the KL airport. It was built 15 years back. It still has excess capacity. Look at the Delhi airport. It is already kind of stretched out. So whatever you build, you have to build at a scale for the next 20, 30 years. You got to be real long term. And all the developers represented in this room are, the next few months look tight, I must tell you. Even in consumer, if you look at October, November, December numbers of consumer durables, they were weak. The Diwali wasn't like it was. There is a K-shaped recovery in economy. Not everyone is buying. The middle class and lower middle class is struggling. That's the truth. You can look at any index, right? So that's also a reality of India. But even in the winter of funding, winter of investment, India does very well. So we will continue to do well in every sector because of our domestic consumption and domestic demand. And a lot of good the government is doing. I mean, it can do a lot of things better, but still it's doing. So whenever a prime minister develops a religious corridor, for example, the Ujjain-Mahakal corridor, or the Banaras corridor, or the Mathura-Kashi corridor, they're creating centers of clusters of economic excellence. And all of you have traveled abroad, France and Paris. Just the city of Paris gets 10 times more tourists than the whole of India in the year, within a short span. So I think the religious, spiritual tourism is a big area that in the next decade, with what's happening in India, and the kind of, I'm a very religious person. I'll go to 2 temples in Calcutta tomorrow. I'll get up early. To travel to a religious place, I plan, I am always ready. I'm sure that lots of people like that. So whatever you build, you have to keep cultural renaissance of India. There is a new India, let's accept it, whatever way, whether you like it, not like it, you're comfortable. But there is a certain kind of narrative, and India will be like that over the foreseeable future. The good part is that a lot of things that are being built on our heritage and culture. I've never been to Ayodhya. I'm looking forward to the Ram temple being built. I'll go there. It's about my emotion. It's about my faith. So really, I think the government is doing a lot of things right. When they develop corridors, when they build infrastructure, when they build highways, the number of small and mid-sized airports being developed in the country, all will build real estate. Look at what's happened in Goa, right? Goa is a classic case of domestic tourists adopting the city. And look at what has happened to the real estate of Goa. Look at what has happened to the airport. So these are things that are happening in India. In spite of everything, India will continue to grow. Over the next 10 years, it is India's decade. And I'm not a political person. I'm not saying it in spite of the temporary winter. There is a winter of investing, which has to do with collapse of banks, which has to do with the cost of a lot of input materials going up because of supply chain issues. In construction and real estate, the biggest issue is the raw real estate costs of development have gone up. You look at every input cost, right from labor cost. I think that's a little bigger worry. Inflation is a worry. Demand is not an issue. So that's where professionalism will come in. That's where scale will come in. That's where how you run your projects will come in. So real estate is finally, the finest real estate developer, according to me, in the world, and I started my career in real estate, is Gerald D. Hines. Just look at their balance sheet. Just look at the quality of icons they built in New York and around it. Look at how much premiums they get vis-a-vis their competition. And look at their balance sheet, to have a balance sheet like that. So clearly, I think in the next 10 years, we will create real estate giants that will build India's infrastructure like Tata's did to Jamshedpur, build new cities. The IQ city, or let's say Sri city in Hyderabad. These are not just private townships. They're building new civilization. So I salute you all. The Realty Plus Awards here in Calcutta are a salute to the work that you've done, the icons you've created, and the contributions you've done to the GDP of the nation. I wish you luck. I love the warmth in this city. I love the culture. I love the food. And most importantly, I have some friends who I love meeting. So happy to be back in Calcutta. Thank you for bearing me out and listening me. And I hope I can bring something special out, Mr. Neotia, today. So please give all of yourself a big round of applause. Thank you.